Hey guys, Trina here. Welcome back to my channel. And today's video is all about some cute spring primitive decor. And I have gathered some materials that I may or may not use for our first project. And also, my building is under some remodels, so I can get all the free scrap wood that I want. Yay me! So, I have a piece of plywood here, and one side of it is straight, and the other side has an angle to it. And I want it to hang straight when I put my hanger on it. So, you will be seeing me measure our wood like so, because I want it to hang straight, because you can see there is an angle at this end. And I'm just marking our 2 drill holes, and I'm going to drill our hose, and we're going to wear our Bearcat safety goggles, because we need to protect our eyes whenever we work with any kind of tool. Also, I have an underlying issue that I need to protect my eyes for. So, with that said, let's get to drilling. And once we get our hose drilled, I'm going to take my apple barrel white paint and matte, and I'm going to give our plyboard a couple coats just on the front and the sides. Okay, now that we're done painting our board, and yes, I let it dry, we're going to take some of our folk art antique wax with a very, very dry brush and start distressing our wood. Now, you see me painting there on the back. That was because I was getting some of the excess wax off of the brush. And I'm just going to go back and forth and distressing our wood till I get the desired look that I want. You know, you basically just want to paint it where, it looks like an old dirty board. That's been out, weathered, and seen its better days. And now we're going to take our jute twine, and I'll make a knot and pull it through the other hole, make another knot, and voila, here's our hanger. I wanted the knots to show in the front, because to me it's more primitive to me. So now we're going to take our burlap and make a pouch. Now, I had got this burlap from Joann's. Of course, I did not pay full price. I had coupons and everything in the app. And anyway, good burlap. It lasts me a long time. Miss Rowe, I've done lots of stuff with it. But anyway, I'm just going to fold over our burlap and take some hot glue and just glue it at the bottom across in a straight line. That's going to be the bottom of our pouch. And then I'm going to take a popsicle stick, and I'm going to stick it inside so I can glue the 2 back flaps together without it sticking to the front part of our burlap. So that's why I'm using the popsicle stick. And that's going to make our little pouch. Then we're going to take and attach it to our board. I just start by gluing straight across at the bottom and attaching it at the bottom first, and then making sure the pouch stays open. I glue all the back and the sides down to the board, and I just make sure this pouch stays open so the burlap doesn't, of course, stick and close, and that way we can't put nothing in it, or we got to pry it open. You know what I'm saying? And now that our little pouch is made, let's move on to embellishments. And I have this galvanized looking metal star. Now, my very good friend gave this to me, and she possibly got it at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Joann's, one of her favorite places to go shopping at. And she gave me a couple of these, and I wanted to rust it down, make it look rusted. So, of course, I took my burnt umber and started putting, painting it where I figured it would look rusted at, across the seams, and just where it, would get weathered at, and where, it would start rusting at, and just making it old and rusty and primitive. I'm so goofy sometimes, I swear. But anyway, that's what we're doing with this star. And I love her, my friend that gave me this morning thing. God love her. When she saw the finished project, she was like, well, if that's the star I gave you, how did you get it to look like that? Oh, goodness. Anyway, you saw me slide my paint palette down in the pouch. Well, that is because we're going to lay our star here, arrange it where we're going to put our pitberry, because we want some pitberry coming out from behind our star, and we're going to have to glue this down. So I don't want it to, the glue's going to go through the burlap, of course, and I don't want it to close. So that's why we're using our paint palette, so it doesn't close on us when we apply our hot glue. So now that I've got my pitberry laid out how I would like, I'm just going to start applying my Gorilla hot glue and placing our pitberries back and putting our star back on top once I hot glue the tips of it and the middle of it as well. So now that we have our star and pitberry glued down and dry, we're going to remove our paint palette. And I decided I'm going to take some boxwood and some of these little lavender or berry plants or whatever you want to call these from the Dollar Tree, and start decorating our pouch. So like I said, I just used some boxwood, which I got from Amazon, and these little plants, these little lavender berry looking plants or whatever you want to call them. I got these from the Dollar Tree. I got them last summer or the summer before, and I just change them out and use them in different projects, and this just so happens to be one of them. And I think they look so cute with that boxwood. And so like I said, we're going to decorate our pouch and pretty much be about done with this project. Oh yes, love the little laser cut wood embellishments that Dollar Tree has in the crafter square. I bought a bunch of different ones, probably one of each different kind they had, and I've been using them in lots of projects, as you can see in my previous videos. And this was the bumblebee looking one to me, so I took my Sharpie black and yellow marker and colored it like a bumblebee, and we're going to attach it to the pouch of our primitive burlap flower bag or flower pouch, whatever you want to call it. I can't talk today. And isn't he adorable? Isn't he cute on there? And here it is. It's all finished, and I hope you guys like it. I love how it turned out. I think it's super cute, super primitive. And, you can put this on your front door, hang it on your wall, hang it in the hall, wherever you want to hang it. I think it will be so stinking cute. And let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And if you're new here, welcome, and please consider subscribing and sharing and liking and all that good stuff. And let's move on to our DIY number 2. Okay, DIY number 2, our adorable sunflower planter. And yes, put our safety glasses on. This box here, one of my best friends got me some pretty canna lilies in it for my birthday. And so the box, of course, I'm going to DIY it. And I want to make it look like a little toolbox caddy. So this here is a stake from an old Christmas tree stake that you put in your yard. And I took the Christmas tree off, and I knew I was going to use the stake for something. So I just cut it in half. And now I'm going to mark where I want to drill our 2 holes, where we're going to put our 6-inch dowel, which is going to be the handle of our little toolbox caddy. And you'll see here, I just start, drilling my holes, and then we'll go from there. Okay, now that we're done drilling, we're going to take and put some wood glue and some Gorilla Hot Glue on the end of our board. And we're going to put it inside of our little planter box, flush against the board. And take the other one and put it on the opposite end and do the same thing. And this is what our little wood dowel is going to go through for our handle. and it's just a little 6-inch wood dowel. And I take some of my wood glue and I put a little bit into each of the places that I drilled, and I also take and put some of our wood glue around the ends of our 6-inch dowel. That way when we slide it into place, it doesn't twist and turn and move and slide out and stuff like that when we handle our planter. And once our wood glue is good and dry, we take our apple barrel white paint and mat, and we give this thing like 3 coats, because that pink was something else trying to cover. Anywho, now that this is good and dry, I'm going to take my painter's tape and just mark it off around the box in the middle, and I'm just going to kind of paint where the pink or coral color was. Like you saw the box in the beginning, except for we're going to use our antique wax and paint the bottom of it to give it that wood look and that wood grain look, and just, you know, the streaky, painted streaky like, and go all the way around our box doing that, and let it dry, and then we'll go from there. I decided I wanted to paint our wood dowel the same color with the antique wax. I thought that that would match up very cute, and so that's what I'm doing now. Okay, now that we're done painting with our antique wax, we're going to take our painter's tape off. And I thought I had hit record, but I didn't. So I took some wood glue and some of my Gorilla Hot Glue, and I had this cute sunflower ornament that I'd had in my stash for a while. So I just took the wire hanger off and glued it with both glues onto the front of our planter box, and added a piece of raffia bow, and I think that just is so adorable on there. I had wondered and wondered what on earth I was going to do with that little ornament, and I finally figured it out. It was like it was just made for this little box. So now we're going to take our sunflowers and start decorating our planter box. And I have a piece of white plant foam already down in the box. Just wanted you guys to know, because I know I thought that I was recording when I put that in there and adding our ornament to our box, and I looked and I wasn't. Which I often do that sometimes. I'm so forgetful. But anyway, our burlap sunflowers came, of course, from the Dollar Tree last fall, I believe, or the fall before. And there's some Dollar Tree grass that came off some of their florals that I used. And I believe our sunflowers, they may have came from Joann's or Amazon. But I just think this little planter box with these sunflowers and ornament is just so adorable. And I thought I was finished with it, but ends out, I had this adorable ribbon that I got from the Dollar Tree. I love their ribbon so far. And So I decided, let's glue this around the middle of our box in between our brown and white colors. And that's what I do. And then we are finally finished with this DIY. And I think that ribbon set it off. And the box is so stinking cute. It looks like you went and picked it out somewhere, at a high-end store. And to me, with the orney on there, this is primitive. If you don't think it's primitive, then, whatever. It could be your style. Then you call it your style. But to me, I call it primitive. And I like it and I love it. And want more of it. I'm so silly today. Anywho. Like I said, this little planner, I think, is so stinking cute. It turned out just exactly how I wanted it, if not better. And I have a picture coming up where I saw one of these without all the whistles and bells on Wayfair for like $69.99, $70. And I have done mine for like $5 and under. So, before you guys go and spend this kind of crazy money on something so cute and simple, take it from me and make your own. Now, let's move into this DIY number 3. Okay, guys, this cute little rag wreath flower, let me tell you, this is what you're going to need. And this right here, this is or was the base of a candle ring holder that came from Kohl's. It was a set of 2 of them. And they were on a clearance. And my best friend had got them for me. Well, she got them, because she just loves shopping, clearance, what have you. And she ended up giving them to me in a massive DIY haul. And let me tell you about these things. They were hideous. They were absolutely hideous. They had, around the edges was some greenery, Christmas greenery, okay, like Christmas tree greenery, and they had painted it with a little bit of silver. I guess they wanted to try to flock it or whatever. And also there was these like seafoam looking color Christmas balls attached to it with some silver ones. And then they had some plastic shells and starfish that they had painted with some kind of pearl paint that was flaking off everywhere. And they had a price tag on them. I wish I would have took pictures of these before I tore them up to redo them. Each price tag from Kohl's was $45 a piece. $90 for these 2 hideous candle holders. I tell you, I'd never seen nothing like it before in my life. And I have used the greenery in a lantern that I made for my best friend, and I just did away with the other stuff. It was so cheesy looking, and I could not believe they wanted $50 a piece for these things. That was how ugly they were. I wish to God I could have showed you. I'm going to dig a picture up, and I'm going to find it and add it to this video. I just know I will, if I can. But anyway, all that fabric you saw me cutting in the beginning, that was from leftover from a previous video, where if you saw my heart rag wreath, that's what that's from. And I got this material from Amazon on a promotion, and it was like 9 pieces in the pack, 20 by 20 inch, and the color theme was coffee, and I just absolutely love these colors, and it's quality fabric, and I had so many scraps left over. And I thought, what am I going to do with these two candle holder bases? Well, I decided we're going to make two rag wreath flowers out of them. And you know, you don't even have to make them flowers. You could even use them as a candle holder with the rag, the scraps around it, you know, and leave the little embellishment off in the middle that you'll see coming up. But I just took and tied all of our scrap material around the whole entire base of our candle holder. Okay. And now that I'm done, we're going to take some jute twine and take and find one of our 4 sections. And that's where we're going to tie our jute twine on for a hanger for the back of our pretty little flower. And by the way, I meant to tell you guys that those were 6-inch strips of fabric that I was cutting for this project. And I've already got one of these finished, and I can't wait to show you the set. But let's move on to the middle of our flower. We're going to take some of Dollar Tree's nautical rope, and we're just going to glue it in the center and just start wrapping it in a spiral all the way until we get to the very end. And as you can see, as we're starting to get to the end of our center of our flower, it's beginning to get a tight squeeze. So what we do is I just cut the end of my rope and I unravel it down to the point that I last glued it, and I just cut 2 of the strands off, as you can see here, and I just push one of them down in there, and you wouldn't know the difference. I do apply hot glue though. I go back and I apply hot glue, as you can see here. I mean, you can see what I'm doing. And really you can't tell no difference at all, but that's what I did to the first one, and that's what I'm doing to this one. I just did not want no gap in there. It didn't look good to me, so I had to compromise. And like I said before, I love these little laser cut wood embellishments that the Dollar Tree has been carrying. And I've been using them, and you'll continue to see me using them until they're gone. And I got two of the same little flowers out of the pack and just glued them in the middle. And voila, here's our two pretty little rag wreath or rag flowers, if whatever you want to call them. I keep calling them wreaths. I mean, they could be a wreath if you want them to be. They could be anything you want them to be. You could leave the embellishment off in the middle and sit you a candle on there and keep them candle rings. You can hang them on the wall like this here. You can pretty much do a lot with them. I mean, hell, you could even use them as a trivet, whatever, you know. But I love how these turned out, and I ended up putting them on my shutters on either side of the rag wreath that I did in my previous video, and I wanted to show you guys how they look together, and I just absolutely love this. I think they look so good, and so does my kids. They love it, and I hope you guys love it too. And just let me know what you guys think, and leave me some comments below, and share, like, all that good stuff. And until the next one, see you later.